Guys, welcome to today's video. In this video, I will show you how to set up your own AI agent to help you manage your Google Calendar. This AI assistant will help you to know your availabilities, but also schedule events based on what slots are available. Are you ready for this video? Before I jump into today's demo, I'm Davey, the founder of runautopilot.co, and we build cool automations for cool people using no-code tool, and we help them run their business in autopilot. With that being said, let me share my screen to start today's demo. So I'm currently in my WhatsApp channel, and I'm going to ask my personal assistant to help me scheduling a meeting for this afternoon. So if I take today's calendar, I can see that this afternoon I already have 2 slots taken, one from 2 to 3, another one from 4 to 5. So the idea will be to first of all check if he's able to see what's available or not. So I can make an audio request. Can you please help me find availabilities for this afternoon? I would like to schedule a 1-hour meeting. So I'm going to send this audio now, and what I'm expecting now is he will be able to retrieve all the hours available this afternoon without showing me the hours that have already been booked for different meetings. So what's going to happen when I do an audio? This audio will be converted to a text, and this text will be sent to trigger the AI assistant, and this AI assistant will be able to delegate the task to one of the sub-agents that is working for him. And this sub-agent is a sub-agent dedicated to check availabilities, and he should get back to me with all the different slots that we just mentioned before. So as we can see now, we just received an answer for today's afternoon hours, available hours. So as we can see, 2 to 3 and 4 to 5, they're not part of the list. So he has been able to see that I already had a meeting. So now I can just take it a step further, which is, can you please organize a meeting this afternoon from 5 to 6 with Bob? You will find Bob's email in the database. The meeting is about a networking event and how we are going to plan this networking event together. So now, with this audio command, I ask him to actually create a draft event, and he will be able now to invite also Bob. So if I go to my Airtable database, I have Bob here, and Bob has this email address, which is hello@gmail.com, and I didn't tell him the email address. So basically, he has to find the email address by himself from the database, retrieve it, and send back to me this event draft. So now that's why he said to me. So he found Bob's email, which is actually the correct email, and prepare to schedule the networking event planning meeting this afternoon. Confirm if you would like to proceed with the scheduling. Now I can say yes or I can say no. I can even ask him a request, which is actually don't invite Bob. Invite Joe instead, and I want this meeting to last 30 minutes. Please send back the draft event, right? So I can kind of play with this AI assistant because right now he asked me for confirmation before scheduling, because that I'm forcing a double confirmation system in order to schedule any event in my calendar. But right now, I'm actually challenging him by saying, actually, you know what? I do not want to go with Bob for this meeting. I want to go with Joe. Joe is this guy. He has this email address, right? So now what I'm expecting is he will be able to draft me a different event. So now he said that he updated the meeting details for networking event planning to invite Joe. So he got actually the right email address instead of Bob. And the meeting is scheduled for this afternoon from 7 to 7:30, because we asked him as well to change the duration of the meeting. and now it's asking me to confirm if I would like to proceed with the scheduling. So now I can just say, yes, proceed. So I just send him a confirmation, and I should be able to see in my calendar a new event that will be created for half an hour this afternoon. So we will just see what's happening now, but we should have it live in a few seconds. And I should also receive the email about this event because I have been invited. I mean, when I say I mean Joe has been invited, but it was my email address. So now what we can see is this event has been created. So half an hour. If I click on this event, I can see that I'm the organizer. I can see that I have an attendee. And now if I go to my email address, did I receive something? Here we go. That's the invitation for today's meeting. And I've been able to do this, all of it from WhatsApp. And I even received a confirmation that the event has been successfully scheduled with Joe. And here are the details, which allow me as well to edit and modify this meeting if I needed to. So this is what we are going to cover in today's video. So you will be able as well to build your own AI agent to perform this task or to include this particular agent into something much bigger, because obviously you can connect it to your email and do a lot of other cool stuff. So now let's talk a little bit about the tech stack. So we just covered the context. So I'll show you a little bit the demo, how it works. Tech stack, what do we need? So we need make.com, Relevance AI. So Relevance AI is this platform that allows me to build AI agent. We need a Google Calendar. We need a WhatsApp. For this case, we're using as well Make API, which is a third-party tool that I already had for a bigger project. So what I'm showing you now is a section of a bigger project, and Make API was already available because we used it to create WhatsApp group, all that stuff. So I'm using it directly to be able to send messages, to retrieve the messages as well. You can use WhatsApp official API in make.com if you have already generated your key, or you can do it using Facebook, or you can generate your key using the Facebook manager directly. Now, what about the overview? So how does it work? So basically, we have a trigger here coming from WhatsApp, which as you have seen, that could be an audio, that could be a text message, whatever. When this trigger starts, then it's going to trigger directly my AI assistant. And my AI assistant then will be able, based on the request, to delegate the task to either the calendar manager, which is the agent, the sub-agent that will check if the slots are available, or to directly delegate the task to the calendar scheduler, and the calendar scheduler has the power to schedule an event. I could, technically speaking, put those tools, the check availabilities and schedule event, to the same agent. But because I'm using a double validation system, I always prefer to have different agents dedicated to one specific task. And I will cover this in details in a minute on how I set it up. But that's the reason why I'm using this flow with two different agents. You can also do it with one agent. And particularly if you do not need any confirmation or any approval system, then one agent will be enough. And that's also the reason why you see a little check mark here, is because this guy needs to receive a confirmation in order to perform the task. So let's check it out, how it works in the back office. So the first thing is I send a request. Can you please help me find available utilities for this afternoon? So available slots for this afternoon. I guess it didn't pick up the word right because I have an accent. So may not be always ideal in this case. Better maybe speak in my own language. But anyway, I would like to schedule a 1 hour meeting. And then we can see that the first thing that I did is using the time zone tool. It's super important when you schedule a meeting to have a time zone tool, because based on where you are, then the time zone is different. The time is different. So the first thing they did was checking the time zone. What time is it? And what day is it? So that's great. Then he delegated the task to the calendar manager. So the calendar manager has been able to retrieve all the available slots that we had for this afternoon. So that's great. And actually even like he got all the different slots available for the day. As you can see, starting at 7 a.m. this morning up to 9 p.m. And then we received a WhatsApp message, and the AI assistant made this kind of filter be like, okay, he asked me for slots for this afternoon. So he went and just cut off all the slots that were this morning because they were already passed. And now he's just focusing on the afternoon available slots, which is great. So this is what he sent to me. So I'm able to see what's actually available for this afternoon. Then I replied to, can you please organize a meeting from 5 to 6 with Bob? And in this case, he had to look for Bob's email address. And in this case, we can see he went straight to the Airtable manager, find Bob's email, and basically the AI agent gave him Bob's email. There is a separate video about the Airtable manager where you will see how I build this particular agent. So have a look, and you can also implement different type of agent. The logic remained the exact same. Then he went to the calendar scheduler with the email that he had retrieved just before and created a draft event. So that's the draft event that he has submitted with Bob's email. And I responded that actually don't invite Bob, invite Joe instead. And I want this meeting to last 30 minutes instead of an hour. Now he went back to the Airtable manager, find Joe's email instead of Bob. So he retrieved the right email, went to the calendar scheduler again, update the different data. So 30 minutes instead of 60 minutes. Email address has been updated. And now he sent me back the conversation in WhatsApp, the confirmation in WhatsApp. So this is what has been done. Okay. And so when I confirm, the calendar scheduler was able now to book this event. So as you can see, there is here a little confirm here. And when you check the first time when the task has been delegated to the same sub-agent, there is no. And this is the double validation system that I've set up in order to make sure that this guy has to come back to me before he proceeds to this task, right? And once it has been done, then he received the confirmation and then sent me back the full report about what has been done. And as we saw together, I received the invitation and the event was published actually in the Google Calendar. So let's talk about the tools and let's deep dive into each tool. So first of all, the time zone tool. So this time zone tool is very simple and easy to set up. In my case, or in this business case, because the client is in the same geographic area and most of his customers, they're in the same region, same city, I just automatically put Europe / Paris at the current time. So when I run this step, what's happening? I'm getting the current time and that's it. There's absolutely no other input. This is a default value that is used in order to give me the current time and the current date. Right. As simple as that. Then we have the get calendar availability and create event. So this one, actually, the title need to be modified because it's just get the calendar availability. I separated the create event part. So we have different elements. First of all, we have the different inputs needed. And then we have a dedicated function to check the calendar availability in Google. And the great news is this function is already part of Relevance AI, which means that you can directly and seamlessly integrate your Gmail account. So before I cover this particular tool, so first of all, let me cover a little bit the input. So first of all, we have a start date. So the start date has to be in ISO format, and this is the date from when we start retrieving all the availabilities. So for me, because it was today, then the starting date was today. The end date is as well today, but it's today plus 8 hours, literally. So that's why I set it up in the core instruction. So you will see later. The meeting duration, by default, is 30 minutes. But if you remember well, in my demo, I just say 1 hour at the very beginning. So because I specify 1 hour, he has updated the meeting duration by 60 minutes instead of 30 minutes, which is the default value. And then the request. What is it that we're trying to achieve or try to do? So that's very important to have the request. And then we have connected this integration with the Google Calendar availability. Starting date is the input that we had before, the end date as well, which allow us to check the availability for a specific period of time. So I could have asked for the entire week, for example, I would have had all the slots available for the week. The slot duration, which is by default 30 minutes. In this case, we saw it was 1 hour. And then I can define the start time of working hours. So for example, if I don't want to take meetings after 10 p.m., then I just put 10 p.m. here. However, if I'm flexible, I can put midnight. Or on the opposite, if I want to match like a normal, regular working hour schedule, I can put 9 to 5. I can put 10 to 6. I can put 9 to 6. It's up to me, basically, when do I open my agenda for events, right? And then based on what we receive here, then we ask to respond accordingly to the request that we add. Because if I ask you only for this afternoon available slots, there's no point to send me the 7 a.m., the 8 a.m., the 9 a.m. available slots. That makes no sense to me. So that's why we use as well a LLM module at this particular moment in order to have a filter about what is actually interesting for me. And that gives me the answer that I need. So this is the way we set up this tool, which is the Get Calendar Availability. So this tool allow you to check calendar availability. I'm just going to delete the create event because this is not true. And then basically when this tool needs to be used. So that's it. So for this tool, we just cover it. So it's not too complex, not too complicated. So we then have the schedule event in the calendar. So this tool as well is used to schedule or update an event with a start and an end time for multiple attendees. And in terms of input, we have the event title, the meeting description, the start time, the end time, attendee email, and the status. So if you remember well, that's what I explained to you, and that's what I showed you earlier, is for certain action, the status was no. For other action, the status was confirmed. By default, it's always no. However, in order to change it to confirm, this subagent has to ask me the permission to publish something. And what happened here in the tool, when the status is no, then this API call can't work because here you can see status has to be equal to confirm. So which means that if I never confirm any events and if the agent, for whatever reason, decide to plan and schedule the event without asking me, I already know that it's impossible because it will not have here access to the API because I block it by changing and updating the status. And so by doing this, I reinforce the desire for me to have a control, have a look about everything that is happening regarding my calendar and making sure I get this request in my WhatsApp in order to confirm so then he can perform this task. So once I said I confirm, the status got updated to confirm. And now we can see that in order to plan this event, you just need, first of all, to add the module create a Google Calendar event because already available as well in Relevance AI. You can add the event title. You can add the meeting description, start time, end time, and the email list of attendees right here. So this is all the info that we have already confirmed on the first version of the draft. And everything will be passed to this agent that will directly use this tool. So that's it for this tool. So we just cover it all as well. Now we can see how we structure the sub-agent. So let's start with the calendar manager. So the calendar manager is equipped with different tools. First of all, the get calendar availability, right? And the time zone tool. So we give him access to those two tools and all the tools anywhere run in autopilot. There is no delegation, no request for a human to jump in. Everything is on autopilot. And in the core instruction, I'm going to put the markdown. We define the role. So he is a calendar manager. He is here to check availability in Iris calendar. The objective is to ensure accurate and efficiency availability in the calendar. The context. So you handle all availability related tasks to support the business, extract key time frame details using the provided tool to check calendar availability and reporting result. That's it. Then we define the tools that we gave him. So get calendar availability and the time zone tool. And then we define the SOP, the standard operating procedure. So first of all, he needs to check the availability. So we break down what is this task. So you have to verify the current time. You have to extract the key info. You have to set the time frame. Then you have to check availability. You have to report the results to the AI assistant that we called Masenga, right? What's important to know is every time we have a step, then we define the step, we explain what's included in the steps, and we provide the tool as well that needs to be used in the step. So for example, when you have to check the availability, then you use the check availability tool to perform this task. So that's what we said. Basically here, when we say you report the result, if slots are available, share the open times. If no availability, inform the AI assistant and wait for more instruction. If a slot is unavailable, you can always offer and suggest 2 other slots that are available. Then you have the different guidelines, so you can check the current time, data accuracy, clear communication, and the workflow summary about what needs to be done. So this is basically the core instruction that this AI agent has. In the flow builder, is check availability using the get calendar availability tool and return to Masenga the slots available and the options. Simple as that. Then we have the configure template. So here, this is the request. So we want to make sure that the initial request will be passed along, because I can ask a specific question in my request. So I want to make sure the output that I get will fit with my request, because I can ask about what slots. I could have changed the entire core instruction and just have an idea about when am I busy today. And in this case, I will only retrieve the slots where I'm already booked. In this case, I retrieve only the slots when I'm available, but I could also make a request, which is when am I busy today? And in this case, it will check this request against the data that has been retrieved, and just through the LLM model, be able to identify the 2 slots that have been booked and tell me that you've been booked from this hour to this hour. So the request is very important in order to have accuracy in what we're asking this agent to perform. Now, let's check it out for the other sub-agent. So where is the other sub-agent? The calendar scheduler, right? So for the calendar scheduler, 2 tools, schedule an event in calendar and the time zone tool, both auto-run. Core instruction, we get the exact same structure as what we did before, where now the objective is to ensure seamless event scheduling and management for ours through the AI assistant. So you have to schedule and updating events, maintaining clear and accurate communication. And the context is to handle all the calendar related tasks, extracting key event details, using the provided tool to schedule and manage events. We define the tools, SOP, so we define the task. So the task in this case for him is scheduling or updating an event. That's the only task that he will be asked to perform. Use the time zone tool and then extract the key event details. So we define each of them. So we specifically mentioned that the start time has to be in ISO format. The meeting duration has a default value, which is 30 minutes. And the attendee's email address, if provided, right? Because sometimes you just want to schedule a meeting, but there's no one to invite. It's just for yourself. You just want to fill up your agenda, your calendar with something to organize your day, right? Then create an event. So then we define once again the tool that is to be used. Finalize the event upon confirmation and report back. Always reporting back. That's super important. And then we provide the key guidelines, which is check current time. So we define it, right? What is it? Data accuracy, confirmation is mandatory. And here we said that do not finalize any event without explicitly approval from the sub-agent, from the AI assistant. Clear communication. And then the workflow summary. So the workflow summary, we can see that we added steps, which is await for confirmation, and then execute task, provide a final summary. In the flow builder, it's very simple as well. Is schedule or update the event based on the request using the schedule event in calendar, return the confirmation or question if needed. And now in the configure template, we have here the email of the attendee. So we have the email of the attendee. So for example, you just saw that I had to ask a different agent to perform a task to retrieve an email from a database. And basically I put this here in the template. So to make sure that when he has an email, this is where it will pass it along, because otherwise he will have no idea about what to do with this email. So I just make the connection between the previous sub-agent and this one by saying that the email attendee has to be provided here. So now once this is done, I can show you as well the AI assistant. And so this guy has a lot of instruction because it is being used for a lot of tasks. So in our case, we're just going to focus on what matters to us, which is the Google Calendar part. However, know that this AI assistant is responsible for a lot more stuff. And this is something that I cover through different videos where you can check it out and see all the different scopes that he has. And there's also a recap video about the entire project. So for this guy, he has a lot of instruction because this AI assistant has a lot to do. He has a lot of responsibilities. And in our case, we will mostly focus on today's video, which is the calendar part right here. What's important is once again to define the role of this personal assistant. So we define the fact that he is a personal assistant, then we tell him who he's working for. So giving a bit of context about the business and telling him to always use the WhatsApp tool to reply or get in touch. Then we define the tools that he has access to. And here in our case, we have the calendar manager, the calendar scheduler, and the time zone tool. We define each of those tools. And then we explain that the role is crucial and he has to be really good at executing those different tasks. Then we provide the SOP. So once again, this one has a SOP, a global SOP about what needs to be done. So task reception, receive the request, analyze its content, clarify when necessary. So he really needs to be very good at communicating because he can receive an audio that has 2, 3, 4 different tasks to do, as you could see, and he has to perform them all well. So sometimes he has doubts, and this is good that he can get back to us to ask for more details. Then the sub-agent responsibilities. Who are the sub-agents that are working for him? What do they do? And then how to delegate to sub-agents. So use appropriate tools, step for delegation. So identify the task type, select the relevant sub-agent, provide a clear structure instruction, validate tool output, maintain communication. Those are the key part. And then we just break down everything underneath. Communication results, review and validate, report to Aris, report to the client, basically. Handle incomplete tasks as well. So always get back to me when you have incomplete tasks through WhatsApp, or if something has been done, then report as well using WhatsApp. Handling misinformation is very important as well. Immediate notification, reassignment task, and then the key points to remember. And then I love to break down every single task that will be, and then I love to break down all the different tasks that can be requested for him to perform. So in order to confirm and to make sure that he understands his assignment. So for example, I have different tasks right now. So this one is about the Airtable. So I define all the possibility with the Airtable manager so that you can retrieve information, that you can create other record. And every time, this is almost the SOP per task about what needs to be done, and use the Airtable manager in this case. Then we have the same thing here to for the knowledge manager. If you receive a general information request, what does he have to do? And then this is explained here step by step what he has to do. If you receive a Spotify related request, same thing. And then at the end, we have this part, which is creating the calendar related request, which is 1, checking availability, and 2, creating or updating an event. And then we define the objective that determine if a specific time slot is free or occupied. Then the steps, check the time zone, delegate the task to the calendar manager, send a WhatsApp to report. So we just break down everything here in terms of steps. Then we provide the guideline. So then we have the creating or updating an event. So this task is based on the previous research performed by the calendar manager. So his job is to already define the title, the description, the starting time, end time, the attendees email. So based on all the different info that he received from different agents, for example, the Airtable manager providing him with the email that we need to use. And then he needs to delegate the task to perform availability check, making sure this is still available. And then after he has generated the draft, he needs to submit the draft in the conversation and ask for approval. Once the approval has been given, once the task has been approved, then he can directly delegate it to the calendar scheduler, and the calendar scheduler will schedule this event. In case of it has been declined, then you need to use one more time, based on the request, the calendar manager, and provide a new draft. And then he has to wait for the confirmation from the agent once the event has been scheduled, and then report back using the WhatsApp tool. Then we provide the guidelines, which is do not schedule any event without approval, ensure that all details are accurate, and communicate changes and results using the WhatsApp tool. Then we also have additional notes and requirements where we say that all the updates need to happen through WhatsApp in a specific language, to never finalize sending an email if you don't have a confirmation. So this is for a specific task, but basically reinforcing the fact that if you do not have a confirmation, you can't perform certain tasks. Then we provide important notes about what's the confirmations. Can be as simple as okay, but it needs the okay. We need transparency. And if no confirmation arrives, then the task is canceled or postponed until you have an answer. And then key point to remember. So this part is a lot of like repetitive elements, but it's very important sometimes to say several times. I've noticed a massive impact by doing this. Sometimes when I put it once, it didn't really perform it well 100% of the time. When I put it 2 times, then it reduced the chances for him to just go freestyle. And then when I put it 3 times, then he was like, okay, there's no doubt. He knows what he has to do. So that's basically the most important part right here. And then we have here the different variables set up for this specific guy. So the request that he needs to transfer to most sub-agent, then the phone number he has to message, and the language he has to use in order to keep updating or asking for more details, more info. Regarding the tools, so this guy has the time zone tool, so it's very important that he also knows exactly what time it is and what day it is. And we gave him as well the send a WhatsApp message, and the send WhatsApp message is a simple tool that uses the Mate API endpoint in order to send a message. And in this case, this tool can be used to send a normal message to a phone. In my case, that will always be a phone because I'm just having this one-on-one conversation with my assistant. However, this tool is equipped as well with a group input, which will allow me to provide the group ID for whenever I'll be ready to plug this agent into a WhatsApp group with a customer, for example, and to automatically let him speak with a customer without me having to be part of it. So that's why this tool has been set that way. And basically there's 2 API calls. One that sends a message if the group input is not empty, and one sending a message if the phone input is not empty, which is the one that we're using in this case to communicate together. And basically you have all those info in the API documentation, which is this third-party tool. And you can send WhatsApp directly to any phone as long as they are on WhatsApp, right? So that's what we have used here. The WhatsApp part are also being covered in a different video that I invite you to check it out. And beside that, that's all you have to know in order to build this particular AI assistant. So with that being said, let's cover a little bit now about the budget for this. So how much do you need to have a personal assistant that can help you like this? So if you use make.com, you can actually have it for free because you can have up to 2 scenarios. So that's pretty good. For the Relevance AI, you can have the free plan. I think you are allowed 200 credits a day. Based on your need, that can also be enough. Google Calendar is for free. WhatsApp is for free. Mail API is a paid tool in this case, so $30 a month. However, you can replace it by the official WhatsApp API, which will allow you to have all of this for free. knowing that we use make.com for the trigger, which means that when I receive a WhatsApp message, so you use the Mail API webhook, then based on the type of message, if it's a text, if it's a voice note, or if it's an audio, a recording, for example, that you had from a different device, you can submit it into the WhatsApp and it will directly be sent to the AI agent. Here, the only difference is we download the file coming from the webhook. So when it's a voice note or it's a document, that's a file that we need to download first. Then we need to transcribe this file into text and then push the text into the API call to trigger the agent. So once it's done, this is where the entire automation start working. And so this is basically what you need to set this up. So you can actually do it for free if you do not have a lot of requests, which is pretty interesting, especially if you're very busy, you have a little time, or you're always on the road or outside. That can be a handy way to manage all your agenda from your WhatsApp. Now, regarding the takeaway, so what I show you right now was the system built with Google Calendar. You can do the exact same thing with Outlook. There's no issue with this. You can perform it with different as well calendar, as long as there's an API that you can access to. And basically, I think I would say like the sky is the limit with this type of automation, because right now it's limited only to scheduling event, updating event, and checking availabilities. You could also potentially integrate API to delete events. Now, it will depend really on your use case. For this case, we want to keep it safe, which is like everything that needs to be deleted will be done manually by a human. And we're more interested in being able to schedule a lot and then write a note if needed to delete a specific event because it didn't work. But so we can just limit this to those two functions that we saw. But you can obviously expand, and you can also add, as you saw in the demo, we can add an Airtable manager or another subagent that has access to your database in order to also invite your different contacts. You can also connect a subagent that has access to your inbox and retrieve someone's email in order to send a meeting. So the email doesn't have to come from a database. It can come also from your inbox. And so there's so many possibilities right now that nothing can prevent you from doing something else. This is just a little explanation on how to build this particular module. Hopefully that you find it interesting. If you have any question, drop them in the comment. If you like this video, if you didn't like this video, just drop it in the comment as well. Tell me more about what type of content you would like to see. If you're interested as well in working together, you want to run autopilot, then get in touch. Be more than happy to see how I can assist or help you. If you're not subscribed yet, I think that's the time to do it. And I'll see you in the next video.